It's 10 a.m. on a random Tuesday morning. You decided that you're going to study with all your attention and focus today. So you sit down with your books, all your stationery, and get ready to get down to work. And then you just can't study.
So you just sit there staring into space and daydreaming, clicking your pen, mindlessly fiddling with things, and doing everything other than studying. What if I gave you 5 tips to fix this?
Hey guys, it's me Anshika. Welcome back to my channel, and in today's video, as you can tell from the title already, I'm doing something which was so highly requested. So many people DM'd me on Instagram about focus, about motivation, about situations like you just watched before this. Fifth tip is something which is so important and something that's not spoken about enough on study YouTube as well. So do stay till the end to see the last tip, because I think that's the most important thing I've ever said on this channel. And without further ado, let me get started with tip number 1. Okay, so tip number 1 is to make a proper study schedule or timetable. You should know when you work best, whether it's during the day, whether it's during the night. Personally for me, till class 10th I was more of a morning person, just because my entire family was like, they were all morning people, so I kind of became a morning person. And then when I went to Singapore for 11th and 12th, I became somewhat of a night person. I started staying up late instead of waking up early to finish my work and all. So that's something that you should definitely know. When is the time when you work best? Is it during the day or is it during the night? And you are going to have to make a schedule around that, and also around fixed activities such as school, classes, coaching, or tuition, or whatever else commitments you have which you can't move around. So for example, if you have classes from say 9 a.m. in the morning to 1 p.m. in the evening, that section is going to be blocked out automatically, so you can't study then, like you can't do your own studies then. If you're a right person, your schedule should be classes in the morning, studying in the night, and then waking up an hour or two before your classes. If you're a morning person, then you should be attending classes during the day, and before that you should have your own study time, and then you can sleep early. You're also going to have to be consistent with your study sessions. This is something which I said in my IB tips video as well, which will be linked in the description if you haven't seen that already. You need to be consistent and do the same thing every day or every other day at the same time. So for example, if you study maths every day from say 5 p.m. to 6 p.m, try to study maths every day from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. When you plan out your study schedules for every day, put math at the same time slot, just so that doing maths from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. over time becomes a habit instead of something that you have to force yourself into. It becomes something as natural as waking up and brushing your teeth. You just do it out of the force of. Tip number 2, know your study style. Now you have a proper study schedule, you've made a timetable, you followed everything I said before, but if you don't know how you study best, then that is going to fail, because you're just going to sit there and study with all your focus, but you're probably not going to remember 50% of it anyway. So you should know whether you're somebody who studies best in short intervals with breaks or in longer sessions. So personally I realized that for subjects like physics, chemistry and maths, which I am better at, I like to sit for longer periods of time, such as 1.5 to 2 hours in one stretch. But for some subjects such as psychology or French, which are not that interesting for me to study, I would rather use something like the Pomodoro method, which, if you guys don't know, is a method where you basically study for some period of time and then take a break. Now generally this is supposed to be a 20-minute study session, 5 minutes break, but you will have to figure out whether you're better with a 40-minute study session, 15-minute break, 30-minute study session, 10-minute break. What is the kind of pattern that your brain works best in? That's something that you have to figure out for yourself before you apply any other tip. This brings me to tip number 3, the locus of control. So the locus of control basically is the degree to which you believe you have control over your own life, and in this case over your own studies and your results. If you do things with intention and purpose, you will believe that you have controls over your own studying and over your own work. How to do things with intention and purpose? wake up at a certain time thinking I'm going to do this today. So if you're a morning person who studies better during the daytime, wake up earlier than your usual time. If you wake up at 7 a.m., wake up at 6 a.m. that day thinking, okay, I'm waking up at 6 a.m. because I want to study. Or if you're a night person, stay up late knowing with the intention, okay, I'm staying up past 12 today because I want to finish this task or because I want to accomplish this. If you do things with that correct mindset, if you know your intention, if you know the purpose for which you're staying up late or waking up early, that is very powerful in itself, because it will give you an internal locus of control wherein you yourself are responsible for the results, because you worked hard and because you stayed up late several nights or you woke up early several days just to get your work done, instead of developing an external locus of control, which is things like, oh, I had a tutor who helped me, or the exam was very easy, I didn't study that much, I just happened to know the things that were on the exam. Those are the kind of things which people say when they have an external locus of control, and that is something which is really bad in the long run. Even if you pass one exam with it, I highly doubt you're going to pass all your exams thinking like that. Tip number 4: don't wait for the perfect time. Now this is so important, because I feel like a lot of people fall prey to this kind of thinking wherein you look at the clock, you see it's 10:05 and you're like, okay, let me just wait till 10:15 to start, or even better, let me just wait till 10:30 to start, since I've already missed the 10 o'clock starting time. There is no perfect time for studying. You should be thinking, okay, I decided I'm going to sit at 10 o'clock, it's 10:05 already, I'm going to start now. That's the kind of thinking that's going to help you remain motivated and focused, instead of diverting your attention on things like, oh, it's 10:20, I'm going to start at 10:30 now, or I don't like the morning time because it's too hot to study, I'm going to study at night. That's the kind of thing where you're just fooling yourself and giving excuses for why you don't want to study. So don't wait for the perfect time. If you wake up in the morning, you decided you're going to wake up at 6 o'clock to study, but you ended up snoozing a couple times, you woke up at 6:15, that's fine. The minute you wake up, do all your stuff, sit down to study. The last tip, and as I said, this is probably the most important thing I've ever said on this channel: don't look at the clock. Once you start a study session, don't keep any clocks in your line of sight, and just trust me on this one, this is going to make you so much more productive in all your study sessions. You're gonna get as much work done in 20 minutes as you used to get done in like 40 minutes. Just keep a timer if you're doing like a Pomodoro method, or if you're even doing like a longer session. As I said in one of my earlier videos, there's Forest and there's plenty of other apps which have like creative timers these days. Use one of those, put a timer for an hour, 40 minutes, however long you want to study for. Put the timer, put it away from yourself, turn up the volume so that when the timer rings, you know that okay, this time is done. But please don't keep any like desk clocks or any like wall clocks within your vision, because this is what I like to call the looking at the clock syndrome, wherein you keep on looking at the clock and seeing, oh, I've already been studying for 20 minutes. Now maybe it's time for a break. Oh, it's only been 10 minutes since I've been studying, it seems like half an hour. And that's the kind of thinking which diverts all your attention from your work to the passage of time, to upcoming tasks and events. If it's 12:40 and you know you're going to have lunch at 1, you look at the clock at 12:45 or 12:40 and you're like, oh, it's only 15-20 minutes till lunch, I wonder what's for lunch today. And there you go, your train of thought has officially been kicked off the track of studying, and now you're just focusing on passing those 15-20 minutes till lunch. So please don't look at a clock. Definitely don't keep a desk clock, and try to not look at a wall clock constantly, because that's not gonna help you be productive by seeing. Nobody looks at a clock and thinks, oh, I've been studying for 40 minutes, now I have to keep going for half an hour more. Everybody sees a clock and thinks, oh, it's been 40 minutes already, maybe it's time for a break. But if you didn't look at the clock, you wouldn't know it was 40 minutes and you wouldn't feel like you needed a break. So don't look at a clock. And with this, I come to the end of this video. Those were the top 5 tips which will help you be focused, motivated, and actually get things done. And I hope for all those people who asked me to make a video on this, I hope this has helped you out in some way. And if it has, then please let me know in the comments below how it has helped you, what exam you're preparing for, and which of these tips worked the best for you. Once again, I'm not saying these tips will work for everybody. This is just from my personal experience as well as research from some of the other study YouTubers in the studying community online. So you should definitely try these out for yourself at least once and then see if they work for you, and only then continue doing them. And don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe and help me grow this community here on YouTube so I can keep making more content on productivity. And also, should I make more vlogs? Let me know in the comments, because I really don't know if you guys want to see more vlogs or if you want to see more like study content. With that said, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time with another video.
Wanna feel alive again. Got these wrinkles on my face and I'm only 23.